Alright, what is up everybody? This is Zacharias. We are back again with more of Geneforge 2 Infestation. Let's go ahead and continue here. This flat, dry, expansive land is where Drypeak grows enough crops to sustain a small population. They have had a small amount of success, very small. The dry farming they practice is enough to keep people barely alive, but never actually happy. Some of the earth is actually dark and moist. There may be a small natural spring here, just enough to nourish some mildly shaped crop varieties. Alas, right now they aren't even doing that. Because of the rogue attacks, there are no survivals working out in the fields. The crops have been left to live or die on their own. Right now they are choosing to die. For all the difficulties Drypeak has had lately, you are surprised that the Drypeak gate is guarded only by one woman and a trio of turrets. She is well armed and seems competent, to be sure, but still. She gives you a respectful nod when you approach. Greetings, Shaper. I am guard Dell. Be careful out there. She waves her hand out towards the wasteland to the west. It is not safe. She stares at you oddly. I'm sorry, Shaper, but are you Eve? I have a message for you. Are you the only guard here? Not quite. We are only just outside Drypeak. One shout and I will have support in moments. But I doubt that I will have to do that. Why don't you think you will have to call for help? Because the rogues don't ever come near here. Close enough to spy on us, yes, but not to threaten. I keep a constant, careful watch. Don't doubt that. The Fioras and Thods are simple creatures, but they know to stay well away from the city gates. What are you doing for food? Relying on reserves. We're lucky you returned when he did. Not like we can eat Fioras. It is against Shaper law to eat any shaped animals that aren't designated livestock, like orcs. What can you tell me about this area? It was farmland. She shakes her head. Not good farmland. Terrible. But it was ours. Then the rogues started hunting and picking off our survivals. So we pulled them all back into the city. Tell me more about the rogues. She points to the southwest. Most of them come out of the woods out there. They come out, wander around, and duck back in. Be careful if you head out to the west. You'll run into the patrollers before long. What sort of creatures are out there? Just Fioras and Thods, from what I have seen. Nothing to a shaper such as yourself, of course, but more capable of eating a survival. What would I have to do to pass through this area easily? Well, finding the source of the rogues would be ideal, of course, but cleaning out the rogues in the woods close to here would be a good start. He points at the thorny, twisted trees to the southwest. Those are strange trees. Yes, thorny, hard to cut down, doesn't burn well. The wood is too full of knots to be good for building, yet they grow and spread fast. They are a plague. Where did they come from? You Shapers created them in my grandfather's time. I was taught that they were an experiment, but they escaped from your labs. I'm sure you had a good reason to make them. Could you help me hunt some rogues? I am sorry, Shaper. I long to help you, but my orders are clear. I have to watch the gate. Still, the Shaper should have no trouble with mere Fioras and Thods. Her respect for you is pleasing. Commons, even those who spend lots of time around Shapers, tend to regard your kind with awe, which is how it should be. Well, do you have any supplies you can spare? Dell is reluctant, but you are very convincing. Also, you are a Shaper after all. You talk her into supplying you with some thorns and an ice crystal. A message? From who? An agent. She said her name was Shanti. She came out of the gate to explore a bit and she talked to me. Said if you followed after, I should tell you something. What did you think of her? Not my place to judge an agent, but she was friendly to me. Listened when I talked. Very down to earth. For your kind, I mean. Where did she go? West. Said she would loop around and return to Drypeak from the north. Said I wouldn't see her again, and I haven't. What was the message? Scout Dell smiles, an odd one. She said, you have learned a lot. You are ready to explore. Good fortune to you, or something like that. Seemed an odd message to leave. That's why I could remember it, I guess. Okay, I don't need the thorns, but I'll definitely take the ice crystals. Have all the magic we can get. Okay, so this right here is one of the 3 rogues, which is pretty strong, but we can take it on. It has no armor, but has some resistance to fire, cold, energy. And if you want to check what resistances a creature has, just right-click it. I know healing spores are meant, and spores in general are meant more for your group, but they still will work on your solo character. We're 59, we almost got a beat, at least. Yeah, these fights are definitely going to be longer if you don't have a creation, but that's okay. I definitely want to get through this with just an agent. Alternatively, one thing I could have done is the pacifist route and avoid combat altogether, but I don't really think that's like the best for a Let's Play, since the appeal of these games tends to be the combat. And the pacifist route is the hardest one, because you have to go through the whole main story without engaging in combat once. I did manage to pull it off for the first Geneforge, though. You find the burned remains of a Servile. This unfortunate was hunted and trapped by a rogue Fiora. Oddly, the Servile was armed. He had a sword in one hand and a baton in the other when he died. This is very strange. Why would a Servile be armed? You enter a forest of the twisted, wiry trees that infest large parts of this area. These trees are one of the few life forms the Shaper's made out here that can live on its own. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a weed only good for driving out useful species. There are gnawed bones on the ground, and growls and hisses emerge from the thicket. These woods are infested with rogues. A brave and determined Shaper would immediately walk in, determined to instantly destroy the rebellious creations. How brave and determined you are is, of course, up to you. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of them all. that's why I love quick action. Gives me an extra chance to attack. Except when I can't really reach them and I can't do anything. And that's why I also love the Daze ability. Oh, now you're terrified? Get out of here. You have depleted the horde of rogues hiding in this thicket. The area isn't entirely safe, but you will be able to pass it quickly now. Ooh, shielding band. I'll definitely take that. Infested woods. Lay 3 rogues. Oh dang, this isn't a pool where we can recharge essence. Don't worry about trying to kill these because it will stay it will stay apparent no matter what. They will always like respawn. And they don't attack you anyway, so don't worry about attacking them. More iron bars. Gloves. Ah, there are a couple back here. Go ahead and get rid of them. Let's go ahead and recharge real quick at Drypeak. We'll go to Sharon's Grove here. This forest has a mix of the twisted, malformed trees and cacti you've gotten used to around Drypeak. As you walk down this path, the forest changes. It grows very still and cold. Your alert shaper senses detect that you're being watched. Every once in a while, a small creation scuttles through the underbrush. It pokes its head out, looks at you, and runs away. You suspect that there is a shaper nearby, and that shaper knows you're coming. And are welcome. Intruders are destroyed. As you walk down the path, the creation startles you by moving into view just ahead. A tough one, dangerous enough to give even a shaper pause. You reflexively adopt a ready stance, prepared to defend yourself if necessary. Fortunately, the creation is neither rogue nor hostile. It ceases its patrol and inspects you briefly. Something about you convinces it that you are an acceptable visitor. It silently continues its patrol. They must have a controller nearby. If you do anything to annoy it, however, escaping the grove might be difficult. There is a large stone home out here in the woods. It is an impressive structure, solidly built from blocks of granite. It has been here for quite a few years. There is a small, well-tended garden in the grove, and producing both herbs and vegetables. There are also cages, drying racks, and huge skulls brought here for study. A lone chair has been placed in front of the garden. Someone spends a lot of time out here watching the plants grow. You meet the mistress of this grove. She is a shaper, as expected. She is old and thin, and her movements are slow and deliberate. Her traditional robes have been worn threadbare by her many years in this remote thicket. She has a look of peace and calm unusual in your kind. Strangely, living in this cold, hostile place seems to have made her very calm and happy. She smiles as she approaches you. It's very strange. Welcome, young traveler. I am Sharon. I have been expecting your visit. Your teacher Shanty has already been by to see me, and I have been hoping you were soon to follow. How long have you been living out here? Many years. I was once a traveling shaper like you, moving from place to place, trying to make a name. I helped establish settlements. I made life to settle barren lands. I put down uprisings, all the usual struggles. Then I came here. Did you come here to help settle this area? No, I came here to hide. I had done enough. I wanted to live in peace, to stop traveling, to read, to think, to live a quiet life. That is not something that ever happens. Once you become a Shaper, you are bound by Shaper law and the dictates of the Shaper Council for life. It is a price paid for such power and status. Sharon is revealing a lot by telling you that she has fled from the Shapers. How did you escape the Council's notice? It was easier than you might think. I asked the Shaper Council for a difficult task, one that would take me far away. They were eager to oblige. I traveled, I did their job, then I simply did not return. I just wandered off. I imagine I was just lost in their paperwork. Was Shaper Zachariah here when he came? No, my arrival predated his by a full decade. I have never spoken with them. We've had no business. On the rare times when he wanted to make contact, he sent a runner. You never made any new creations to settle these peaks? No, I think my fellow Shapers have already done enough damage to this land. Why did you leave the Shapers? The weight became too much for me. To be a Shaper is to research, yes, but it is also to rule. I wanted to learn and create. I didn't want to enforce laws. I didn't want to punish the guilty. It wore on me. Why do you tell me this? Aren't you afraid the council will find and punish you? She laughs. You came here, yes? The council has already found me. Now that they are sending scouts here, I will be found. I will accept it. Maybe, in return for the things I have learned, they will not punish me too harshly. You should be punished. Shapers cannot afford to let their powers out of their control. I thought you would say so. There is danger, but I do not think it is worth the cost. You are loyal to your kind. I suppose that will be better for you in the long run. Do not end up like me, doubting your path. Shaper Sharon provides you with tea as you talk. Occasionally, she checks on the militias just outside the door, making sure that her grove has no intruders. What else would you like, Shaper? Time is short and the dangers are many. What can you tell me about this area? The mines are to the north. There have been a lot of rogues coming from the south. I have not been paying much attention to that. I have been doing my work. What does interest me, though, and Shanty shares my interest, is higher peaks to the northwest. What is to the northwest? Rogues. Much more dangerous rogues than the ones that have been attacking Drypeak. I've sent my own creations to scout there. I found that they are guarding a tunnel in the remotest section of their valley. I would like very much to know what is through that tunnel. I think someone should explore back there. I could go to the tunnel and explore it for you. Yes, that would be very useful, and if you did, I would aid you for your help. The tunnel is to the northwest. See if you can find out what is on the other side. What do you know about the higher peaks? The Shapers have spent centuries trying to make their crops and livestock that can thrive up here. Their failed experiments were tested and dumped in the high valleys. I never went up there because I was told that it was a dangerous, useless waste. Maybe I was misled. Do you know anything about the tunnel? No, it is on the far side of Saltmarsh. I've only been to the entrance of it, and that was years ago. No serious Shaper work has taken place up there since before I came here. Then again, perhaps more recent rivals have been working up there and I never found out. What sort of research are you doing here? Shaping, of course. The gift of shaping cannot be resisted once it has been given to you. I have been following my own path. I have been researching the old history of the Shapers, seeing if any valuable techniques have been learned, then lost. I have also been trying to learn how to better fuse shaped creatures and physical objects. I have made interesting discoveries in that area. You can create powerful magic items? I can, but it is a long, involved process. Perhaps you can come back if you find you need to stay in these mountains for some time. What have you learned about the old ways of the Shapers? Not much. It is difficult to get interesting books out here. And well, you would probably not be of much assistance in this area. Don't jump to conclusions. Is there any way I can help? Perhaps. There is a book in my library on the south pedestal. It seems intriguing, but I cannot understand the dialect. If I had access to a library, I could perhaps learn more about it. But where could one find a library up here? So the book sits there, taunting me. Might there be a library in these mountains? Shapers have been making warrens and labs in the high peaks for almost 2 centuries. Making them, failing in them, and abandoning them. Who knows what might be up there? If you were unwise enough to explore, of course. Shanty and I were sent here to complete a mission. Agent Shanty already told me. Question Shapers Zachariah and Barzal. Evaluate the colony. I wish to help if I can. Also, Shanty had something to say about you, if you are interested. You met Shanty? She came out here to see you? Yes, she was able to slip away from Drypeak to look around. It did not take her long to sense me. She is wise, I like her. She does not approve of my hiding from the Shaper Council here, and I suspect that she will not keep my secret. But I do believe that she is fighting too good, and I admire that. I'm trying to learn about a Shaper named Barzal. Can you help me? I only met that Shaper when he first arrived with Zachariah. I don't know what work he did. Eventually, I heard he was dead. I don't know more. Someone named Ilili said that you have some saltweed for her. Ilili? Who? I suppose I might have some saltweed somewhere. I thought I saw some growing in my garbage dump. As a Shaper, I ask you for aid. What assistance can you give me? I am not a full Shaper anymore. I will aid you, but I will not give you everything I have gathered here. Feel free to explore my home. Leave what you find, except you may take items in the vats in my laboratory. Just stay out of my private chambers. I will not tolerate intrusion there. Sometimes I think I left the Shapers because I could no longer tolerate the loss of privacy I had with them, the total lack of any corner to truly call my own. Now that I have that, I will not lose it. What does Shanty say about me? To be sure, you are Eve. Yes, I am Eve. Shanty told me that her current apprentice, you, had great potential. She has been challenging you relentlessly, and you have met her expectations. I fear you will have a difficult path ahead. I thought it would give you a boost to hear what she said. You flip through the book. You don't understand a word of it. It's at least a few centuries old and written in an entirely foreign dialect. It's strange, though. The sketches and notes depict something that looks like a Fiora. It seems like a book on shape and written by foreign people in a foreign land. This should be impossible. Take a few notes on the strange foreign script. Hopefully you will be able to find someone who knows something about the writing. This is a shaping journal where Sharon has recorded the results of some more promising experiments. Her skill is much greater than yours, and her notes require advanced knowledge to comprehend. You don't know enough about battle shaping to understand what she's written. A rip. Okay, more living tools. Ooh, we might need to hang on to this so we can possibly use it as a melee weapon. Hang on to that. The smell of rot is heavy in the air. There are 2 trash dumps back here. One is for garbage and one is for body parts of deceased creations and failed experiments. crap did it regenerate, by the way? Oh, come on, really? Now I have to talk to her all over again. Right, let's quick save again, so in case we have to. Well, cool, I can just lead him out here. Perfect. That worked out. How strong are they? Yeah, they're 15. Okay, so yeah, if you're struggling too much of that fight, you can just lead him out there. Heavy boots. Horns fall out. Saltweed. That was unintentional, but I'm glad I chose to uh, lure those things out to the creations nearby, because they backed me up in that fight. Alright, I technically did clear out her grove, but I want to check every angle first. Yeah, that simply was just taking way too long, though. Me trying to solo it. I got a good amount of XP for it. Let's also check up here real quick. Mine rescue. I found some saltweed. Excellent. Now I will have something to do to fill the hours during my meaningless, horrible existence here. She selects several small gourds from the carpet nearby and hands them to you. Here are 3 pods. You can use them in your adventures. Say, is there anything else you're looking for? Come to think of it, yes, I completely forgot. I could really use some wiry moss. It's rare stuff, but I would pay even better if you were able to find some. Where should I look for it? It usually grows in very dry forests. This makes it difficult to find. The forest has to be moist enough for it to survive, but dry enough to sustain the wiry moss. It's a delicate balance. Perhaps you will find some in the high, hardy woods of these mountains. Let's go ahead and do the mine rescue real quick, and then we'll do these other quests. Alright. I'm going to make sure the game is saved right here, though, and I'll see you on the next part.